Am I the a-hole for revealing a family secret to my husband about his father? My husband's father died of a heart attack at age 42 on the plane while flying to his home country to visit family. My husband Joe was 13 and his sister was 9 at the time. His mother had few skills and poor English. From that moment on, Joe worked to support the family after school and at grueling factory shifts after finishing high school. He eventually pursued a trade and built a good life. We raised 2 children and are financially secure. In the 40 years I have known them, Joe, his sister, and their mother now deceased idolized their father and spoke wistfully about how much better their lives would have been had he lived. This summer, Joe's mother's cousin visited from the home country and was visibly surprised to see his parents' wedding portrait in a prominent place in our home. At a private lunch, she asked if they had forgiven the father. At my blank stare, she was incredulous that they didn't know. Her mother was their mother's older sister, and she stayed for months to pick up the pieces after the tragedy. She arranged the funeral, dealt with the finances, and discovered that the father was flying to meet another woman who he had met in Canada to start a new life. He had most of their savings on him in cash. He was apparently abandoning his family. She kept this information from her sister to spare her the added heartbreak and to protect the children. Whether she ever told her sister the truth is unknown, but my husband and his sister certainly never knew. We agreed that I should not tell my husband. When he boasted about what a wonderful man his father was, I bit my tongue. I finally caved when Joe recently was speculating on how rich we could have been, owning property that his father would have eventually bought. I told him what his cousin had said and how his father was perceived by the relatives who knew. Joe was calm and flatly denied everything. He admitted that he had met the other woman at his father's restaurant where his father introduced her as a friend. Whether or not it was an affair was none of his business, Joe maintains. I won't tell his sister, as she is emotionally fragile and still references losing her father at age 9 as an excuse for her life choices, financial problems, an unstable partner, etc. The sad reality is that things likely would have been worse if he had lived. As it now stands, Joe and I agree to disagree. Cheating irks me, but family abandonment is unforgivable. My mother-in-law was a kind, loving person. I no longer want the fairy tale wedding portrait dominating our home. It is built on lies. So am I the a-hole for telling my husband?
Here are the top comments.
You said you wouldn't tell him, but went back on your word because he is bragging about his dead father's legacy. If you swore to not tell him but arbitrarily decided you were going to go back on your word for your selfish reasons, you are the a-hole.
I don't think you should keep secrets from your husband, and especially if information is relevant to him. Not the a-hole, however, I question the motivation of the cousin who has dropped this toxic information into your lap. It's got nothing to do with you and just puts you in an impossible position.